What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to EWC, Empire Watch Club.
What's up, guys? What's up?
So the three of us are finally together talking about watches. You know, we're going to talk about why people get into watches, why watches might be a good idea for an investment. In particular, Rolex. We'll just kind of wing it and talk about it.
Okay, so he just showed up in my house today and wanted to do this. I'm unprepared. I am into watches, but I'm not like a fanatic like these guys. In fact, I had forgotten even the serial number to this watch. But
reference number.
See, I'm not a huge watch guy. I'm not. I'm much more into cars and surfing. But
true.
Yeah,
but you like watches.
I do like watches. But for me, I was just telling Chris
more
about
as
this.
A decor.
It's more decorative for me.
Yeah.
You know, I wear it as more for fashion. You know, I do like nice things, but you know, they aren't the measure of me. Even if these things disappeared, I would still be me. That's something that I've said on Instagram, right? But back to what Sunny was saying, yes, I think when people get into society, I think instead of, you know, throwing your money away at cars or like, you know, clothes or going out, I think buying a watch is a pretty good investment, especially with inflation at what it is now. You know, this is a 16818, right? Is that one?
16618.
是吗? I don't know.
It's the 16618.
Okay, anyways, somebody tell me. Okay, this is all right. This watch I bought maybe 2.5 years ago, right when the pandemic was starting. I think I bought it for 60,000 20,000 USD, and it's worth.
That's fucking cheap, though.
It's worth what?
Yeah, well, I would say it's a little over 1 million now, NTD.
Okay, so basically, I close to doubled my money. You know what I'm saying?
But you did get an amazing deal.
I did get an amazing deal. I bought it off my brother. Shout out to Jerry. You know.
You should have sold it to me, Jerry. Come on, big bro.
Other watches I've made money on, like I told you, man, it beats inflation for sure. It's better than putting the money in your bank or spending it on clothes and cars and going out or whatever, right? That's my take on it. What do you guys?
Man. What do you think, Chris?
Well, of course, I think Rolex is one of the best investments you can do in the watch market. Like, besides, of course, you have the flashy and more fancy pieces like AP and Patek out there, but I think solid piece, most reliable piece is a Rolex. So I also wear this one almost every day. I got other watches as well, but this is, I think, a 114060. So this is a Submariner no date, the very original Submariner, and I just think it's a perfect daily beater. It's for me, watches is more like it's a personality thing. It's like what car you drive, what watch you wear. That says a lot about you, actually. That's my take on it.
Now, I think the question was, you know, why people buy Rolex.
I had a certain budget, and it was 2016, and I was like, I have to get something special for myself and something for my personality, something that suits me. I got two at once, so I got the Deep Sea that time, and I got the Daytona.
And you got it at the AD?
Yeah, I got it at the AD. I got it in Singapore at Hourglass. And that was, I was so proud of it. I remember.
That was when you could still get them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just wanted
2016.
Can't get them anymore.
2016. And I just wanted to say, I actually walked into Patek and they offered me that time a Nautilus with discount and an Aquanaut. And I was like, no man, I'm gonna get my Rolex. I'm waiting for my Daytona. And I thought that's a special thing because, like, you know, Rolex is like one of the most gifted presents you get when you turn 18 or when you achieve something.
It's a coming of age present.
Definitely a statement as well, and set a symbol. And for me, exactly, I think also the background, the history of Rolex, I like it very much. Found it from Hans Wilsdorf, a German guy.
Okay.
Which, not
I knew you had that.
You would know that.
Of course
you had that. Yeah.
So for me, it's a little bit different. My dad told me a gold Rolex is 出来混的基本款. Right?
Hey,
so,
true that.
You know, it's a status symbol, but it's also I feel like it's got a little bit of a streetness to it. You know what I'm saying? Streetness, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
It's gangster.
It's gangster.
It's gangster.
It's gangster.
It's gangster.
Yeah, and
this is what you see in every movie on some gangster.
This is actually the second EWC thing I've ever done. And the first one that I've done, I talked about this, right?
Yeah.
You know, 跑路这个东西可以换钱的, so I think I think it is.
No, I agree with him because I travel a lot, and every time I travel, I always take like 1, 2, 3 watches with me. No matter if I go to Dubai or London or even Philippines, I wear it just on my wrist because if you get robbed, like if your passport, everything is gone, you don't even have cash. If you have a Rolex, you just go to the next
pawn shop
or whatever, and you get cash with it.
True, but now people are stealing watches. So.
Exactly, you have to be careful.
So now you got to be
right?
careful, you know. Right. So people are stealing watches, especially while traveling.
Oh.
So, but what you're saying, going back to, you know, it's a street cred thing, but also it has a store of value, right? So it is a currency now. So why do people get Rolex? I feel like, do you remember back in the day, even before the whole hype, we would always say you get 80 cents or 85 cents back to the dollar, exactly. Right?
Now you get above that, probably.
Yeah, you get at least your dollar back, right? At least your dollar back. But if you can get the AD, well, you're making money. If you get the secondhand market, I guess it depends, right? It depends on the watches, but gold watches, as you were saying, it's kind of like it's gold now. Gold has a standard currency, right? We look at it, it has its own index, so it is a currency. Watches, to me, have almost become a currency. And I guess that's what you guys are saying too. You know, the way I look at watches sometimes is an investment. For me, to be honest, yes, I think it is an investment. And I think Rolex is a very safe investment.
Yeah.
Now we have crazy inflation. But if you look at it from the flip side, as a brand, Rolex actually increases its MSRP every year by a couple percent, right?
Yeah, I think up to 5%.
Yeah, same thing with Porsche. You know, so that's why I always correlate these two, Porsche
Germans,
and Rolex.
Germans, yeah.
They're always raising the MSRP, trying to beat the inflation. So when you're buying something, you feel like it's worth the value, and the value will keep going up. So I think for, you know, all of our younger viewers out there, this vlog, I just kind of wanted to just let everyone know there's lots of perspectives.
Yeah,
there's lots of different ways to look at watches.
And I think 那个思维很重要 right?
Yeah.
你要去改变这东西，因为我觉得可能老一辈的人会说这是奢侈品嘛，对不对？
Yeah.
你买这东西 it's like a fucking luxury item, right? But they have to understand that with inflation and what it is now, it is a solid investment. It's better than putting the money in your bank.
True.
You're losing money like in the bank. You know what I'm saying? If inflation is 7%, 8%, 10%, 11%, that means $100 saved in the bank last year is only worth $89, $90 this year. You know what I'm saying?
And you're not getting that much interest.
Yeah, you're not getting any interest, you know?
And I don't even want to get into all of the banking problems that we're seeing throughout the world.
Yeah.
This topic we can actually talk about.
Let's just talk about watches.
Yeah,
Let's stick to watches. So watches, I mean, it's better than putting it in the bank. Okay? 不只是一个奢侈品，我觉得你买的只是你戴的自己爽，你比放在银行里赚的钱可能还保值。So why not, right? Rolex, I'm looking for a fucking plug.
Yeah, man. Rolex, hook us up,
Hook us
brother.
up, dog.
Hook us up. Take us
Yeah.
to Geneva.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to go to Watches and Wonders. All right, take us.
Yeah. And another thing for me is the reason I buy Rolex is I feel like there are more expensive Rolexes. He buys like the rarer shit with like. But for me, I feel like 这个 range 的表，你戴了真的如果有刮到或什么，你也不会太伤心 right? I mean, these guys he's wearing like fucking 1000万一只表. I mean, how do you even wear that out?
So for me, I love watches so much. So I always try to, you know, find or seek out something super rare. You know, it's just like maybe you with art. You know, like you love art so much because you see the value in it.
Well, it just makes me feel a certain way when I look at it, right?
Exactly, right? But how do you let go of something? Because, you know, when you guys are going to buy your first nice luxury watch, are you going to keep that forever? That should be something that you should think about. Like for him, he's a hoarder. He doesn't sell. He just buys and buys and buys. You sometimes, you know, you buy to a certain point and then you sell and you get something else that you like. But your cycle is every 3 to 5 years, something like that. But him,
I buy the watches not as an investment, as I said. If I like a watch and I wear it, I do everything with my watches. I really go diving with my rose gold AP. I just see them as a tool watch.
Yeah, because you actually use it.
Yeah,
you love it.
cool.
You make the money. So I think all different perspectives are all good.
True story. True story. My 40mm day date. I got drunk over last Christmas, a couple Christmases ago. I knew I was drunk, and next morning the glass broke.
Still have that photo?
somewhere. I'll plug it in for you guys. And the next morning when I woke up, when I saw the broken glass, and then like I sent it to Woody to get fixed. And so 我的这表是事故车啦，没错啦。So 我也不会卖，所以你也不会买到事故车，你不用担心。But 我的隔天早上起床，我发觉就是我戴这个 level 的表差不多，因为也不会很痛。如果再贵一点，我觉得会太痛了，所以
Yeah, man. So
they're so careful with their watches.
Yeah, I'm
他
very
会包
careful.
膜什么的。
Well, I mean, hey, even this.
I'm a fucking brute with it.
This
right?
is the yellow gold Daytona black dial with diamond markers. I did put protective wrapping over it, even though it's an everyday watch for me. But I protect my watches, man.
Yeah, he takes super good care.
Good care.
所以他的表都可以买，我的表不要买，好不好？
I got to baby my watches.
But that's another perspective. Like if you look at watches, it's also the story behind it. Like how did you get it? What happened to it on the journey?
Well, I think that's the part where something is meaningful, you know. And if you get into a nice watch, whether it's Rolex or not, when you have a nice watch, there's a lot of meaning behind it, right? I remember my grandfather gifted me a watch when I graduated high school. It was actually a Cartier. Yeah, I got a Cartier, and then I also got a Rolex. There are sentimental value for some watches, but I do think another reason that people get Rolex is just to show off, to be honest, right?
I guess even the
I mean, it's recognizable, right? It's a recognizable logo and brand.
Right? I mean, it is shallow, materialistic, but I mean, I get it, I understand, right? And I, you guys, come on, you've seen people out there they're always just like, they want people to notice, like, you know.
You know what the funny thing is? When you wear a gold watch and you're like talking to someone and then your wrist comes out, you'll see his eyeball. You'll see the eyeball like scan it, like, oh, okay.
And the cat goes
yeah. They'll look at it and then like, okay, and then they'll kind of measure you up, right? I mean, sadly, that's what society is. I don't think that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's a true thing. So, I mean, play the game, right? Fake it till you make it, brother. It's a good place to put your money if you have extra money and you're not breaking the bank, right? And it is a better investment than other things that you can spend your money on. You know, you can't go wrong with the Rolex, to be honest with you. You just can't.
You know, we do get a lot of people asking us, hey, what watch should I get as my first watch? Or do you think that, you know, a Rolex would be better than blah, 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 or something? You know, I get a lot of these questions and comments. If you do have the capability of spending it on something, yes, you could look into a Rolex, but just love what you get and enjoy whatever you get and wear it in good health.
We talked a lot about Rolex, but in the end, just get whatever you deserve and what you think is good for yourself and what you like.
I'm gonna give myself another drink. Peace out, guys.